I saw him every day, but he didn't even know I existed. He was the new guy at work, and I couldn't stop thinking about him. He was tall, with dark hair and bright blue eyes that seemed to sparkle when he laughed. He was charming, funny, and smart. Everything I've ever wanted in a guy. But he was out of my league. I'm just a nobody. I tried to talk to him, but every time I saw him, I froze. I couldn't seem to form a coherent sentence. I'm sure he thought I was an idiot. I watched him from afar, hoping that he'd notice me. But he was always surrounded by people, a popular guy. I tried to smile at him when I passed him in the hallway, but he just looked right through me. I came to realize I was in love with him. I spent my days dreaming about him, imagining what it would be like to be with him. It was a hopeless fantasy. He was probably already taken, and even if he wasn't, he wouldn't be interested in someone like me. So I tried to move on. Yet I couldn't shake this feeling. I tried dating other guys, but they didn't measure up. I know it's silly, but I somehow knew he was the one for me. If only he knew I existed. One day, it got too much. I decided to take a chance. I sent him an email telling him how I felt. I poured my heart out, telling him everything I wanted to say but couldn't in person. I knew it was a risk, but I had to try. I waited for a reply. It never came. I felt embarrassed and foolish, like I'd just exposed myself for no reason. I tried to push him out of my mind, but he was always there, haunting me. Finally, about a week later, he came up to me at work. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. He told me he had seen my email and that he was flattered. He said he had a girlfriend but wanted to be friends. It was like a punch to the gut. I smiled and nodded and felt like I was going to puke. I was happy that he'd talked to me, but my heart was ripped in two. We talked some more, and he even invited me to lunch with some other co-workers. It wasn't exactly what I had wanted, but it was a start. As time went on, I realized we couldn't stay friends. Every time we were together, it was like another punch to the gut, reminding me we could never be lovers. It was too much, so I started making excuses for why I couldn't join him and his friends for lunch, or go out after work. He barely seemed to notice, which only made it worse. I was still in love with him. I couldn't help but think about him every day, and my heart ached at the thought of him being with someone else. I knew I had to do something, but what? That's when I started researching love spells and found your site. I was hesitant at first, but the idea of finally being with the man I loved was too much to ignore. I thought, is using magic to make someone love me ethical? But the thought of being with him was too much to resist. I filled out the form and told you all about my situation, and luckily, you agreed to cast for me. Days passed, and I didn't notice any change in his behavior. I was starting to think that the spell hadn't worked when he suddenly started acting differently around me. He was more attentive, more affectionate. He started to flirt with me. I was shocked but thrilled at the same time. The more time we spent together, the more I noticed a change in him. He seemed to be falling in love with me, just like you said he would. It was like a dream come true, and I couldn't believe that it had actually worked. We started dating, and it was everything I had ever wanted. He was attentive, loving, and made me feel like I was the only person in the world that mattered. I'm truly grateful for the spell you cast for me. I know I couldn't have carried on the way things were. Even if I had quit my job, he would still have been on my mind, haunting my dreams. When you know, right?